Alright, so today's lesson is on volume of a cone. Okay, so we're going to compare we're going to start off by comparing our volumes of our cylinders and our cones so that we can create a ratio that's going to help us come up with our equation to solve these. Okay? So the first one we have for us is the length of the radius of the cylinder is 6 centimeters, the height is 10 centimeters. If we plug it into our pi r squared times the height, we get an answer of 1,130.4 centimeters cubed. This next one, they actually gave you the cone's radius, and they found that it was 376.8 centimeters cubed. It has the same radius, and it has the same height of the cylinder. So if we take these two right here, and we divide 376.8, this is our volume of our cone, and we divide it by the volume of our cylinder, we actually get that it is 1/3 of the amount. Okay. Let me simplify it. Let's go ahead and look at our second example. We have a radius of 9 and a height of 15 inches. If we go ahead and calculate that out, we get an answer of 3,815.1 inches cubed. Then they've given you the cone as well. Again, it's the same radius and the same height. So let's go ahead and create our ratio now. We have 1,271.7, and we're going to divide that by 3,815.1. And when we simplify that, we again get a ratio of 1/3. Alright, number 3. Again, radius 18 feet, cylinder height of 7 feet. We go ahead and figure it out. We get an answer of 7,121.52 feet cubed. Okay, and then we have the same radius and the same height. Now let's go ahead and divide our cone by the cylinder. And again, when you simplify 2,373.84 divided by 7,121.52, we get an answer of 1/3. Okay, so looking at the ratios, we wrote for the volume of the cones, the volume of the cylinders. What conclusion can we draw? We can definitely say that the cone volume is going to equal 1/3 of a cylinder volume. Now the volume of a cylinder, again, we can rewrite it as the volume is going to equal pi r squared times the height. So in this case, we can go ahead and say the volume of a cone is going to be pi r squared times the height times 1/3. Or those of you just like the triangle, instead of multiplying by a half, you like to divide by a half. You can do the same thing with this. We can say the volume is equal to pi r squared times your height divided by 3. Either one will work. Okay. So next part says, using the formula, we're going to find the volume of the cones from above. We're going to use 3.14. So we're just going to check to see that our answers up here actually worked. And so we're going to rewrite our equation every time. So we have volume equals 1/3 times pi r squared times our height. Again, because you're multiplying everything together, it doesn't matter what order you do it in. And it looks like we have a radius of 6 and a height of 10. I'm going to go ahead and say volume is equal to 1/3 times 3.14 times our radius of 6 squared times our height of 10. When I go ahead and multiply those all together, I do get an answer of 376.8 centimeters cubed, and it is the same answer that I got above. Let's try it for number 2 here. Again, we have volume is equal to 1/3 pi r squared times our height. So our volume is equal to 1/3 times 3.14 times our radius squared, which is 9, times our height, which is our 15. And we get an answer of 1,271.7 inches cubed. Number 3, let's go ahead and rewrite it again. Volume is equal to 1/3 pi r squared times our height. So we do volume is equal to 1/3 times 3.14 times our radius of 18 squared times our height, which is 7. I multiply those all together and I get an answer of 2,373.84 feet cubed. So yes, this equation does work. It gives us the same answers we got above there. So you guys have 3 problems to try on your own. So go ahead and each time you do one of these 3, make sure you rewrite the equation. It's going to help you remember it a little bit better. Number 1, you should have gotten a radius is equal to 3 meters. It's half of 6. So 1/3 times 3.14 times 3 squared times your 8, which is your height, gives you an answer of 75.4 meters cubed. Number 2, we got a radius of 2 millimeters. Plug all that in, and you should have got an answer of about 33.5 millimeters cubed. And lastly, for number 3, you should have gotten a radius of 4.5 because the diameter is 9. Giving you an answer of 190.8 feet cubed.